Someone brought up several of the schools that are potentially slated to be closed over the next couple of years due to low enrollment. Where the density bonus program was focused, did you guys look at those plans that AISD has available to sort of indicate, you know, we're suffering for families here, here's a good place that meets the other Imagine Austin criteria to include this density bonus program?
I think that's more of a mapping question.
Sorry, just had to, I'm not usually the one talking about density bonus program. So the density bonus program is by zone district right now. So when one saw the maps that we showed earlier, it was simply indicating which were the zone districts in which we are offering up an affordable housing incentive. What that means is, as those districts are distributed across the city, wherever they are, it means that more of the city can have the ability to provide affordable housing. Right. Because it's in the Northwest, it's out by 4 Point, there's some down south, so it's distributed. In terms of looking specifically at the schools, that is an opportunity in the next round of mapping as we look at the considerations and as you all review the maps, draft 2 maps, and have recommendations for us to put into draft 3, that we can look at that further. Now that we know the zone districts that the affordable housing program makes sense in, we can talk about where should we be mapping those much more closely.
So I would just say, as we get to this more detailed level of analysis, we need to address low school enrollment in gentrifying areas of Austin. So if you can please ensure that the areas that you're mapping for affordable housing at least consider areas of concern that the school district has identified, I think that would be a great step in the right direction.
Commissioner White? Well, actually, let me get Commissioner Burkhart, then Commissioner White.
So, just real quick, I've got one question on the T4 options. Do I read your chart as all T4s or only T4O? And then my question is, what's your anticipated yield on the mapping that you've provided, the 13,000 plus acres?
So I'm going to reference. So
I was looking at
there's
looking at your slide 12
chart on page slide 12.
Yeah.
I actually think that what this is saying is it's offered in both the base zone and the open zone. When there is a affordable housing incentive program guide that's on the website, so if one goes to the Code Next website and goes to the About, on that page there are a bunch of resources and there's a guide. In that guide, it actually has a table that tells you every zone district and the building type and what the changes are to the public review draft or draft 1 that are being proposed through the affordable housing incentive program. And it's much more specific about where do you get that extra half story, where do you get more floors, where do you just get more units. And so that'll give you all the information on the bonuses that are available in each of these districts.
Okay, great. And what about the yield that you're anticipating? Have you got an idea on that, and maybe a mix of units that are you able to bring us that information in a future meeting? If you haven't done it right now.
Well, we don't have it now. I believe. I think that's coming in the future.
So. I was looking for that first part of the answer. So we are definitely working on that. I don't believe we'll have it ready for we're hoping to be back in front of you all on August 8th. I don't believe we'll have that number yet at August 8th, but we are working on that number so we can get back to you on the anticipated yield. I do know that when draft 2 comes out, we are working towards having a whole series of indicators on that new draft, and one of those would be anticipated yield.
All right, great. Thank you.
Commissioner White, then Anderson.
Okay. I have a couple of other questions, but I'll move towards the mapping since that's kind of where we're headed. I guess what I'm looking for, I don't know if you have seen this, but this was a map that was sent to council by John Hennenberger, and it kind of shows where you've got the existing affordability programs where the zones are that are applying the residential density bonus, and then the T3 zones, and then what they've got, the LNDR. What I'm looking at, though, is that it seems like although there are a lot more opportunities for density bonus in the way that you all have shown on us in these previous slides, it seems like we're still missing a lot of opportunities within specific districts to the west. So we're seeing still some pretty large gaping holes for where affordability is not being more equitably dispersed throughout the city. I'm wondering, is there two parts? I'm wondering, can we have a map that shows us a little bit more of not just where you have already decided the density bonuses are going, but that overlays the corridors and the other principles that you've used to decide that that's where those are going. And I'm wondering, where do you all see the opportunity for getting us more density and more opportunities for this density bonus to be spread more equitably throughout the city?
So it's definitely a mapping related question, but a very fair question, and I'll let John speak to mapping in general, but I think it will be an important discussion to continue, and I look forward to it.
Commissioner Anderson.
I mean, I would echo what Erica said, that it is a mapping issue. I think, and so we can continue to look at that. I would point to, again, slide 25, in which, in my copy, which is in black and white, it shows all the parcels that could take advantage of the Affordable Housing Incentive Program. While I don't know how equally distributed it is, one can see that it is pretty distributed across the city. Now, I don't have a comparison against actual council districts, but there are parcels spread across the city. Again, we can continue to look at further opportunities to provide more options for where affordable housing can be built. But
I think it's important to have that conversation.
Microphone.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Anderson.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for being here tonight. So I was actually looking at that same item that came out today. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Texas Housers came out with a great document today